Better behave.
Oh, you weren't going to be back because your grandson, but you're here.
I made him get up and be ready at 9 o'clock this morning.
We only have this.
Yeah, I thought I heard that you weren't going to be there.
I didn't know if I was going to make it back.
Okay, good evening. It's 7:15 or a little bit after, and I'm calling to order the May 21st meeting of the Littleton Zoning Board of Appeals. We are in room 103 at the Townhouse at 37 Shattuck Street, Littleton, Mass. And the first item on the agenda would be the administrative matters, minutes, accounts payable, correspondence, and recommendation to Selectmen Board reappointment. So, do we have any minutes to review, Bill?
Shelley said the other day that she was working on them, and if she got them done, she would have them ready for tonight. I don't see anything in front of us. I don't know if you've got anything, but
No, I know that she had a computer crash, and she's got to reconstitute a few months of minutes, so I think we were brought up to 3 or 4 months ago, and
I think we're only missing one.
you think it's one? I think 2 meetings. Yeah, I think it was 2 meetings, but whatever. She'll get them ready, and we'll get them in.
Yeah, we did January. Yep.
Okay, there's an invoice to sign and a payroll to sign, which is fine, I'm just going to sign those. And we have a motion that's been requested, I think we do this annually. We have to move to allow the chair of the board to sign account payable authorizations, and in the absence of the chair, the vice chair can sign. So we have a motion, we need a motion on the table, please.
I move that we allow the chairman to sign,
Oh, yep. Authorized.
to authorize,
Extra glasses?
sign account payable authorizations in the absence of the chair, the vice chair can sign.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, opposed, none. We also have in front of us tonight a notice that Cheryl Cowley Hollinger is up for renewal for a term on the board.
Yeah.
Meh.
You? I expect it from other quarters, but not you.
So her term expires in 2015, and we need a motion to reappoint her for another term.
Make a motion to reappoint Cheryl to another term.
Second.
All those in favor signify.
Oh, he can, he's not, he's an alternate.
We have,
We can do it with just a regular number because it's,
okay, who wants to second it?
Second.
All those in, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, none. Jeff, I'm going to ask you to sign that motion as clerk because Bill and I are both listed in the motion, so that will avoid any.
I'll be right back. I'm running out to my car and get
Conflict?
glasses. Because you want me to be able to read.
If my
Trust me.
car is closer, it's right on the dashboard.
I'm right next to you. Parking is difficult out there right tonight. Boy Scout, no, the baseball game's going on. Thank you for recommending me.
So on the reappointment, I don't know if you're taking minutes or whatever else, needs to show it was 4 to 9 on the voting, because there were only 4 regular members in attendance.
Cheryl didn't vote.
Okay, 3 to nothing.
No, I'm sorry, it's got to be 5 to nothing. We're 5 members. With Cheryl, it's 5.
Well, she
yeah,
can't vote
okay,
for
okay.
herself.
No, she can because she's still a member.
Yeah,
She can vote for herself.
oh, so 5 is good, okay.
Yeah, but speaking of that, we should be re-electing officers, and I don't think we can do it tonight because it's not agended, but I would suggest that we put it on the agenda for next week.
Next
Month.
week.
Sorry, next month.
If we have a meeting next month,
So far, we
We
do.
do, we
Oh.
have 2 nights out.
because
Shelley was.
Sherry said the other day that she didn't think we would.
We don't have anything. I got asked today if a late comer could put themselves on. And I said yes. Okay, let's see.
That's June 19th.
Okay, it's only 7:20. Do we have any board or committee reports?
And accounts payable correspondence.
I'm sorry?
Accounts payable correspondence, none.
No, I didn't, well, I'm going through the mail right now.
See if I buy you a drink
See what
later.
we have in mail. We have... Mark, you don't have any mail over there, do you?
No.
And I think this is the hearing for tonight, so that's...
Regular pile for,
And the only mail I see is on May 19th, 2015, the office received a letter requesting a one additional year extension on the Village on the Common ZBA comprehensive permit. So that will be on the agenda for next month's meeting.
Are we discussing that at all tonight?
Can't.
Okay.
And that's over there.
And we request that the minutes from the last extension be read at that time?
You could request anything when the hearing's opened.
Okay.
Okay. The last decision was sent to you tonight.
Okay. I filed for the cell tower one.
Thank you. Nobody else has anything to report? How was your summer?
Can I take a moment of silence? I found out a citizen of this town who's been a resident of this town for a very long time, who has been in the past a voice of reason at town meetings, who, while he lived very frugally, was nonetheless generous with his community, giving money to the boys' home and loaves and fishes and neighboring suppers. He was a very good man, and unfortunately, his body was found today in his home. His name was Doug Gore, and he will be sorely missed. So if we could take a moment of silence for him, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where was he living?
Star Hill. Mark, how's your team doing? We gotta kill some time here.
Good, very good. We won the district meet for the first time in school's history.
Excellent.
It's like 30 other teams in the area. And last night, or Tuesday night, we won the league meet
Oh, that's
against the
it.
rest of the teams in the league, and we have about 20 girls going on to the state divisional championship in a couple of weeks, of whom I think 10 will move on to the state championship.
Excellent. That's
That's
our
wonderful.
own Littleton track team,
Yeah,
correct?
girls track team.
Girls track
Guys are
team.
doing almost equally as well. They came in second at the district meet.
Very nice. We're proud of all of our athletes this year, I guess. They were all doing very well. I heard the other day, too, that we have a Skull team that rose in conjunction with Westford, and they also are moving on to the
Yeah.
finals.
We have, soccer's just halfway through, but we have a couple of soccer teams that are moving on to the Massachusetts Championships.
Yeah, and talking to Mike Lynn, the athletic director, last year, and this year I think is going to end up equaling it, is the largest number of school teams that have won, their league championship or have done well. He says this is like the golden age of athletics at Littleton High School.
Isn't that something? And I'm proud to report that we saw a Boston Globe article that said that Littleton ranked number 13 in
In the
best
state.
schools in Massachusetts in the state. We beat out Acton Boxborough. We were just behind Concord Carlisle, one behind Concord Carlisle. And I
Get them next year.
think we beat out Westford, I'm not sure, but we beat out Boston Latin. So we did very well, and I'm very impressed. Pardon me? It was in the Boston Globe. You can Google it up. It was about a week ago.
Oh, do you want to report on the town meeting? And the
Oh,
vote?
yes.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You-
well,
You did all the talking.
I have to say, were you there?
Yeah, I was sitting up back.
I didn't see you. I would
Oh,
have
you
made
kept
you
turning around looking
present.
up there.
I didn't see you. I have to report that we had a town meeting article on the agenda. It was proposed by the planning board, as it has to be. ZBA doesn't propose, but it was our article, and we presented it, and it was for clarification of the new case that essentially says, if it's, and we have two of them tonight, by the way, if it's an extension of a pre-existing dimensional variance, then it goes under the special permit criteria and consideration. But if it is an all-new dimensional variance, we have to treat it as a variance. And if you have two at once, you can do both a special permit and a variance, but you have to treat them separately. And so it was interesting at town meeting to convey that and try to explain it to people. If you recall, we also had a provision in there that the 2-year, the lapse of use would stop it, would call it abandonment, and it would stop it forever. And I think we had some discussion here about, I think you were instrumental in that, saying that. Was it? No, I think it was Rod. When you said, it seems like that's too harsh, and we should have 2 years for it to lapse, because that's what the state requires. So we also had that in there, and some discussion came up about that, but that passed as well. But there was one sole voice opposing it. Did you see who that was?
Not the second time around.
Becky, you can-
Yeah, I don't know.
That was you, Bill?
I think it was Bill, because it was a lone voice up in the corner. But also, I have to say that was one of the most disappointing town meetings I've experienced in my 30-plus years in Littleton, for this reason. There was only 150 so people in attendance, and of the, about 40 of them, or 50 of them, were town employees. They're voting members, but they were there in order to work the polls and may not have come had they not had to be there. There were an awful lot of elder citizens who were asked to come because there was something on the agenda for the senior citizens, who expressed concern that they had never been before, or didn't usually come and didn't really know why they were there. And then that particular article got lumped in on the vote as bundled, so they weren't really even aware that it was done, and they didn't have to wait all night. But the meeting was over in like an hour and a half, and as Diane Crory said, we passed a very large multi-million-dollar budget with only 150 people present. And that's a sad testimonial on town meeting process, because I'm sure people will be complaining about that budget at some point in the future, and they weren't there to participate.
One thing that has always bothered me about the town meeting, the way this town runs it, is that when the articles comes out, the Board of Selectmen, each one is designated a particular article, they explain it, even though they're not the ones who generate the particular article. What I've been used to where I used to work, and this is better than 20 years, that whoever had an article, like, say, for example, the fire chief needed a new vehicle. The fire chief presented his article.
Yeah.
The police department, if they want a new vehicle or a new position or whatever, they presented. If the zoning board or private citizen had an article, then they presented it, not the Board of Selectmen. And I think some people are losing concern with, saying, well, we don't need to go to town meeting because the selectmen are,
Have already
have already decided, they're
You might be
presenting
right.
it, they're doing their thoughts and whatever else, instead of hearing from everybody else. And the one interesting thing was, when they came up for the energy one, that they did ask Roland to go up and, give his thoughts on it and everything else, which I think was very beneficial, because it shows, where it's coming from, and he's the one who's involved. So, I think if they had more involvement by the people directly involved with the different articles, it may generate a better feeling as to what's happening.
That would be very preferable. And maybe they should look at the times and place, or the times and days they're having them on, because it's a shame that with a town our size, that 150 people are deciding the entire town's budget. And shame on me, too. I had a sick child and chose not to come, and a husband out of town and chose not to come.
So the other, excuse me, I think your idea is a very good one, and I think it's worthwhile passing it past town manager and the moderator, because even that night, when the zoning article was up for discussion, I did get a call from both the town moderator and one of the selectmen asking me if the zoning board planned on presenting the article, or if they should present it. And I thought it was complicated enough, and we deal with it all the time, that we should present it and not have the
And they think there
board,
should be a
the
slide,
selectmen do
so
it.
people understood what it was. That,
Yeah.
At this point, feeling I'm getting, and I've had personally, that you don't need to go because it's already been decided by,
Yeah, that's an interesting
you
comment.
know, and, you know, you don't get enough information. It's up there and just listen to if anybody wants to have a rebuttal or general questions, and sometimes the general questions could have been answered with a better presentation.
And that also brings me to congratulations to all of the candidates who succeeded in the elections this year, and to all of those who didn't succeed and tried, and to thank the ones who weren't brought back, thank them for their service, and to thank newcomers who tried and failed this time to please come back and try again, because we had a really
Usually they
good...
succeed on the second try.
Yeah, and we had a really good pool of candidates and interesting candidates, and it would have been a nice, diverse mix to shake it up a little bit. So
I thought
hope
that-
everybody comes back and tries again.
Seeing the results and the number of voters, I thought it was higher than expected.
Yeah.
Based on, you know, the
Yeah.
a few races.
Okay, it's after 7:30 PM, so I think we can open the hearing of case number 853A, case of Matthew LaPenta and Eliza Woodbury on a request for a special permit or a variance pursuant to Section 17310B to allow a change, extension, or alteration to a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling at 10 Dogwood Road. And I assume that would be you? No? Oh, that's over here, Mr. LaPenta, excuse me. So what we do here is we have you come forward and present informally what it is you plan to do. Then the board will ask you questions, and then I'll ask your neighbors, if any are here, if they have any questions and comments, and then we'll discuss as a board procedurally what we have to do to deliberate your case, and then we'll make a finding. Okay, so you want to come forward, please?
Sure. Yeah, so, I mean, basically, this is our house, and it's
I know that house.
that's on Dogwood Road. And so basically, we want to do add a second floor. And so we have some nonconformities that are existing, and so, you know, we're not going to make any of those work. We just keep the same nonconformities that we have.
Except for the garage? Because this only mentions the garage.
Nothing's happening to.
No, that's the other case.
Are you on the wrong
Oh,
case?
I apologize.
I started reading the wrong one also, and I said, he doesn't look 71 years old.
Thank goodness. So,
Okay, so I'm just going to let you continue, please.
Okay, sure, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, basically, we want to add a second story, so, you know, we're keeping the same number of rooms and everything. One of that rooms would be the hallway, stairwell to the stairs, and the other bedroom downstairs would be opened up, so it's part of the living room.
Looks like a nice plan.
Thank you. I mean, that's basically it.
Quick question, you presented a plot plan here that shows a dotted line surrounding your footprint. Is that dotted line just showing the setbacks of the bump outs, or is that dotted line supposed to be the second story
It's the
overhang?
roof,
Roof overhang.
Okay,
roof line.
okay. And the porch is existing, you're not going to change that to a farmer's porch?
Right.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I want to compliment your presentation. It was everything that we rarely get, and this is
Well,
Yeah, this is very good. I saw that.
I'll tell Pam, my architect.
Okay.
I'll pass that on.
Did you follow some, or she followed some set of instructions?
She's just very careful.
Good. Okay, I'd like to ask if there's anybody here who's in a butter who has anything to say about this petition. Stand up and identify yourself for the record, please.
Hi, Diane Wall. I'm a neighbor on 3 Dogwood Road, and I just came to support Matt and Eliza in their addition. They're a lovely family, and if the addition would allow them to stay, I'm very happy.
Thank you. Another abutter, please.
Mr. Steve Foss. I live on the next road on 7 Cedar Road. Basically ditto to what Diane said. We've seen this recently, 2 houses down, where they aren't really doing a McMansion, they're just going straight up, and whatever waivers they need to pursue their interest, I really advocate that you accept that and give them permission to do so.
Thank you for your comment, and thank you for your support. Ms. Lopenti, what's your septic system situation? You have 2 bedrooms now, and you're going to end up with 2 bedrooms?
That's right.
And you've presented this to the Board of Health, and they're okay with it, or not yet?
I mean, I've spoken with them, and I've shown them, the drawings, and just, I've sort of gotten an informal okay on it.
Anybody else, questions or comments? Go
Well,
ahead, Mr. Farnsworth.
I think we just need a couple of more bases here before we close, just so that we've completed everything. And again, the written statement that was submitted, even though you didn't reiterate the whole thing, which is saving us time, which is good, very good. And the format it's set up in, it lists what's required, what's existing, what's proposed, and it does clearly show that you're not creating any new nonconformities, which keeps this in a special permit category. And it also shows that, for the street setback into the front, and it's going to be not greater, and the side setback which is on the left side, is not going to be greater. So, yes, you are encroaching into the nonconformity that exists, which does make this then the special permit. So we've satisfied the grounds for both of those. And that it appears that, by the support of neighbors, that this is not going to be detrimental to the general neighborhood. And I think it's going to be an improvement to not only your house, but other properties around you.
I hope so.
I would like to just clarify, Bill, that the existing nonconformities are intensified by going up.
By
But
height.
Yes,
we still can do it on the special
Right, but
permit
it-
basis.
But you're not taking a
Right.
nonconformity that, like, one of them on the left side is 13.6, and this roof line's going to be 13.8. So it's not going to 13.6 and making it down to 13
Right.
feet or greater.
Right.
And yes, rather intensify it by going up.
Okay.
Still keeps it within the realm of a special permit.
I would like to reiterate what Mr. Yates said. This is a lovely, wonderful, put-together presentation. If everyone did this, our lives would be so much easier, because it clarifies all the problems immediately, or issues immediately, and I appreciate your efforts and your efforts of your architect.
Sure.
Thank you.
Everybody paid for it, I'm sure.
I'm sure. But it is very well put together.
We do have a
He got his
comment.
money worth.
We do have a comment from the building inspector. 1 Orchid Drive. Applicant seeks to construct 10 Dogwood Road. Applicant seeks to construct a second level onto a pre-existing non-conforming structure in that the existing structure sets back from the front property line less than the required 30-foot setback at 23.8, not including the front steps. The proposal would intensify an already non-conforming structure requiring a special permit. No further comment. I would entertain a motion to close.
I would make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Second.
Who was it, John?
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
I would
Board,
make,
we can deliberate now if you want, because we have time.
I would make a motion to grant the special permit.
Before we do that, we have some deliberation and comments.
Sure, go ahead.
There was,
This is what happens when it's just spelled out for us.
no, everything's fine.
Yeah, no, this is better than we usually get, and, it's very well-written and formatted and everything else, so that, we had all the information that we needed. You can tell that there were very few questions that were asked, that information that was missing. So, I think it covers all the bases, and, it meets the requirements of the section of the zoning bylaw.
Shirley, you want
I make a motion we grant the special permit as mentioned, and where am I referencing? His plans? There's so much to reference here. It's a wonderful thing. Should I reference his plot plan?
I think you can just reference the application.
Okay. to grant special permit as requested on, I can't read the ZBA case, can you?
Yeah, it's on here.
Case 853A, as shown, to allow change, extension, or alteration to pre-existing non-conforming dwelling at 10 Dogwood Road, as illustrated on
The plan submitted with the
plan
application.
submitted with the application.
Second that motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. You have a special permit.
There is a waiting period for it to actually be filed,
Okay.
and if you start at your risk until the appeals period is
Actually,
over.
because there's a special permit, you can apply for the building permit now,
Okay.
and,
There's no appeals period?
it's at his risk, but there's very little risk that it's going to be appealed, so. Different,
Your neighbor's
with this, a special permit, you can apply for a building permit immediately.
Variance has to wait for the
Variance, you
20-day
have to
appeal.
wait.
But there is an appeals period if you think your neighbors would appeal, which doesn't sound like they're interested in doing.
I look at this sheet, I'm thinking that table in this format, in this application, or maybe some kind of a worksheet might be a good idea. 'Cause
Oh, interesting.
If we direct people
We've
to a
talked about
table
that.
like this, they might fill it out.
You should use an
Interesting.
example from now on.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a few more minutes. I have to wait for the allotted time in case you have a butters who are coming in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Of course, now you got to quickly see if your application is quite as thorough, because we set the bar pretty high.
It's thinner. But it's, it looks sufficient.
Oh, I don't think we're scary.
All right, in regards to that table, I have shared a similar table with the office.
We have a survey.
And, if you recall on Washington Drive, all the cases and everything else, I had one all made out and everything else, and, that was, had been referenced. And also too, Sherry and I had talked about actually coming up with a table and a form. When I worked in Northborough, I actually had one, that when applicants such as this came in, I handed it to them, says, here, fill it out. And that form filling it out helped determine, first of all, do you need anything, or can it be granted by the building inspector, or is it a special permit, or is it variance? Just buy the information on such a table. And it's still available, I mean, we could adopt such a table and make it with the application.
Yeah. Well, this just jumped out at me, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to
Yeah.
have nice information, good information.
Okay, I call it close enough by this clock to be 7:45. So, I will call the case,
Yes, it is. The clock's on. for
case
once.
number 854A, the hearing of Robert H. and Raina L. Hoffeld on a request for a special permit or a variance pursuant to Section 173-10B1 to allow change, extension, or alteration to a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling at 1 Orchid Drive. Same thing, would you just present informally? You can stay where you are if that's comfortable.
We're putting a garage on here, and our house currently is 14.7 feet back from the road, so our setback is less than compliant. And we're proposing to put a garage in 21.8 inches back, and it's supposed to be 30, but it's still more compliant than the house, so I would think that would make it. So we're asking for a setback of 21.8 is acceptable.
At 21.9 feet.
Feet.
Feet. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got inches.
9 feet, yeah, right.
I understand your reasoning for that is to allow easy access into your house with the layout that it has.
Right, yeah, well,
And that this particular winter was particularly harsh and unpleasant for snow removal, and therefore you need your garage in your retired state, and that pushing it further back would not allow easy access into your property.
Thank you. Well put.
Is that correct?
Thank you. That's correct. We're
And
getting
I would also like to
bringing
note that the pushing it back allows for parking in front of the garage, fully on your property, which we've
Right.
commented on in previous projects, so that's good.
And that it does not come in front of the house and is behind the house still, so we don't have that issue.
But note that the side, well, maybe that's not the side. What is this jagged line on the left-hand
The
side?
wetlands.
Is that wetlands?
Okay, so you're 14.
Wetlands flagging.
Okay.
He's 16.7 feet to the sideline, so he's not
Yeah.
asking for a sideline variance, but
The
he's,
lot sloped a little. I saw the 14.3 thinking it was to the side, but I guess it's to that wetlands line.
So it looks like you've had a Conservation Commission.
Yeah, he came in and that dot,
So you
that,
flagged the wetlands and they
The
gave you
wetland.
an order of
Sure.
conditions and, okay, good.
looks like you're far away from your septic system, and that you're not disrupting the current locations of your sheds.
That's right.
Mark, can I ask you, please, if you have the Google Maps on this, or did you pull them to see whether the abutting structure is as close to the street as this one?
No, I don't have the.
I tried and it didn't come up.
That one didn't
It's
come
like
up.
an unknown address.
And whether there's more than one street abutting the lot, does that come into play here?
there's nobody on this,
We are in
left
the
side of
corner.
us.
On the
No
Orchid,
houses.
We are
on
in the
Orchid
corner.
Street to your left, there's nobody there?
That they own that, but there's no house.
There's no
The
house
is
there.
behind us.
Swamped, yeah.
And what about across the street? I think that one's pretty close to the road, too. That was the Barbadoro home.
Yeah, Barbadoro.
Yeah, that was pretty close to the street, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much like ours.
So doesn't it say that smaller setback if it's contiguous, what does it say, contiguous properties?
By granting this special permit, they don't have to worry about
Yeah.
it.
And I just need to see,
They may not need this special
well, one
permit.
street,
No.
Oh,
You looking at the footnotes?
yeah,
No.
where structures exist on the adjacent lots on either side, so we don't have that.
We don't have that.
And 8, if more than one street abuts the lot, then the additional street
Street
setback.
and we
Okay,
don't
fine.
have additional street
Okay, so we are right here on a special permit, and it doesn't look like it's any new. Bill, you want to run through the existing nonconformities and whether there's any new?
Yep. The lot size is required to be 40,000 lot size on the plot plan
You can
submitted,
sit.
dated April 27, 2015, states at 11,000 square feet. Undersized lot makes the structure automatically a non-conforming structure. You're not changing the lot size, and there's no change there.
Yep.
The house, no, on the plan shows at 14.7 feet. 30-foot setback is required, therefore non-conforming. Your proposal is 21.9 or 21.8 feet. So it is definitely within that setback, but does not increase it. You're increasing the structure by going to the left. You're meeting the requirements on the left side. For setbacks, you're meeting the rear setbacks, and nothing changes on the right.
Wait, excuse me, on the left side, I got a
Left side is
14.3.
16 no, that 14.3, that's what Mark would just say.
Oh,
That's
to the
wetland
wetlands flagging, okay, got it, got it. Yeah,
16.7
okay, sorry.
is the setback, 15 feet is required, so that does not create a nonconformity.
Thank
There's
you.
no nonconformity in the rear, the rear is conforming setback, and on the right side of the house, existing is conforming.
Okay. Any board members have any other questions?
Just need to establish that does not appear that this, because there is wetlands on the left side, street on the right side, and everything else, it's not going to be detrimental to the neighborhood.
And there are no butters in opposition?
Right.
And I have a letter from the building inspector which says, 1 Orchid Drive, applicant seeks to construct an attached garage within the required front setback. The existing house is pre-existing non-conforming as it sets back less than the required 30 feet from the front property line at 14.7 feet. The proposed attached garage would be set a distance of 21.9 feet from the front property line, thus intensifying the existing non-conformity. No further comment. I will entertain a motion to close.
I will make a motion to close the hearing.
Thank you. Second?
Second?
To John again?
Yeah.
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? None. And any discussion?
Yeah, I think it was very helpful having the written, statement that was submitted, along with the plot plan, which showed all the existing and the proposed dimensions, and being done recently, they'll give us all the updated information. I think it's very clearly covered all the requirements that are addressed in the zoning bylaw.
What he's trying to say is you've done a good job, too.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion on this one, please.
I'll make a motion to grant the special permit of case number 854A, Robert and Rena Hofelt, request for a special permit pursuant to sections 173-10B to allow an exchange, extension, or alteration to a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling at 1 Orchard Drive as pursuant to the submitted plans. Did I say that right?
Just add by the addition of a garage.
By the addition of a garage.
Modify that to be, grant a special permit under this section to 1 Orchard Drive, not to the applicant.
Yeah, to 1 Orchid Drive.
I think I said to 1 Orchard Drive, but it's as requested
You
by
did.
them.
Special permit granted to 1
Whatever.
Orchard Drive in regards to section 173-10B1.
Can I have a second to that motion? You want a second, Bill?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Go ahead, build your garage.
Get a building permit.
You two have an appeals period.
For the snow.
Years ago.
There's so many years.
Yeah,
Nasty snow this year.
Nasty. And we love Little Town.
we do too.
And we love cases like yours that are well-documented.
And come to town
make
meeting
sense.
if you love us so much. Come and
Yes, I do.
vote.
Yes.
Make some noise.
Yes.
Pay attention to what we're spending.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
you all. Have a nice summer.
Thank you,
You
you
too.
too.
Oh, it's going to be an awesome
I make a
summer after
motion
that
to
winter.
close our session here.
I have no objection to that. Anybody want a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. You want to
Turn
hit
it
that?
off?
Want to turn us off?